Charleston White, he is always in controversy, man. He's always saying some controversial things. Some things I agree with, some things I do not. This is something that I've actually thought about since I was a youth, since I was a young man, a teenager, even as an adult. He's actually talking about hip hop music and the influence that hip hop music has had on the black culture here in America, actually worldwide, actually, but primarily here in the United States. In July, Charleston White was on PBD podcast. Charleston White, he called hip hop a rape culture, blaming it for Black America's collapse, black on black crime, and woke indoctrination. Patrick Bet David has a nice conversation with him. I mean, this entire interview was good, but I'm just taking a piece of it right now. Charleston talks about rap's role and how we as a community glorify violence and how it impacted him as a youth. And I think there's some credence to what he says, man. I've thought this way, at least part of it. I've thought this way for a while, like, wow, because everybody doesn't have that mental fortitude to understand that this is entertainment, music, TV shows, whatever. That's entertainment. Some people can't differentiate, and it just for whatever reason it takes control of them, and music speaks to them or a TV show speaks to them, whatever, and then they act out. It's, what do they call it when art imitates life, or life imitates art. So let's take a look, man. Charleston White, man, the controversial Charleston White.
At 14 years old, I read that you were hung out with some people who there was attempt on murder, convicted. What happened?
No. So my uncle had just died, who was a positive influence in our life. He died to gun violence. My mother had just became pregnant, and my little sister was born. My brother was already in and out of the juvenile facilities. And my mother was putting my brother in adolescence home. So my mama wasn't waiting for him to be arrested. When she started seeing behavior problems, she would put him in adolescent home. That made him even more rebellious. And he big. He tall and big. He got a grown man body. So mama got to work. And we got the best life most kids could have in a middle class neighborhood. So I'm the little brother sitting back watching who everybody's overlooking because of my injuries. They don't know I'm a mother. They don't know I'm a dynamite. Only my uncles know who let me hang out with them. So, man, once I got to become a kid, I was 13 years old. I've been in the hospital, man, from 5 to 13. So once I started playing with kids, I was a natural leader. And I attracted good and bad children. My real friends didn't get in trouble. The ones I went to hang with didn't live in our neighborhood. They lived in the projects, in apartments. So, man, when I got introduced to what I call, I'm the seed of America's gangster rap culture. A little kid who been watching Bill Cosby, Red Fox, Fred Sanford. When my uncles get out of prison, I watched all the black exploitation films. From Dolomite, Superfly, all penitentiary. So I learned criminal activity from watching these movies, watching my uncles. And once I finally got to go out into the community, imagery have already been propagated to me. Kid watching television, So, so I'm mimicking what I'm seeing. So I've never seen a man come out of my mother's bedroom. I've also never seen a man get up and go to work.
You've never seen a man come out of your mama's bedroom? You've never seen a man go
to work? Yeah, I didn't know men work. I thought men were like my Uncle Curtis and my Uncle Wayne. They pimp on a woman, or they lay around all day, or earn their clothes in the middle of the day, wake up late with a joint in their mouth, fly clean, and go nowhere. The unproductive black male.
See, I've actually witnessed this a good part of my life when I was younger. There was plenty of the elders that just hung out, man. It seemed like they never went to work. They were always hanging out, man, especially in the summertime, They was just always hanging out, doing this, doing that, but never going to a job. And he's right, man, ironing their jeans, ironing their shirt. But never really had money. Never. It seems like they always was struggling. And I mean, my father worked. My father worked. He had a job, and you know, my uncles and stuff. I'm talking about is like my father's place was the hangout place, and a lot of his friends did not, you know, have jobs. Man, it was interesting time. You don't really think about it when you're a child. You think about it more as you get older. So yeah, I what Charles White is explaining here, I've actually seen this as an adolescent.
of the 80s. So that's what I saw. So I watched all the males in my family go to prison. For my mom's cousins, uncles, grandmother's brothers, and I never heard anybody say anything bad about prison. So think about this. I never hear anybody say anything bad about prison. They come home and make it sound bravado.
Right.
Like you're missing out on something. As if a rite of passage. Not only that,
Facts.
you're seeing it on television. So it's being reinforced either way.
Facts.
So we had a whole black exploitation era. So by
Real quick, it is a badge of honor. And the people that sat down and then came back home, they're treated like ghetto royalty. Seriously. Treated like royalty if you done time. Like you hard, man. You the man, you know. And the thing is, it's talked about. It's talked about like this person is a legend for going to prison, man. And or if you could fight, you know, you a type person that don't take no mess from anyone. And the way you solve things is through violence. And the guy that was always out here breaking the law, you know, the drug dealers, the gang bangers, man. These are the people back in the community, back in the day. These were the people that were looked at and put on a pedestal. They were the neighborhood celebrities, the ghetto celebrities, the neighborhood
the
legends.
time, so I'm an injured kid who get to watch all the
So of
television in the
course,
world. And
so of course you aspire to be that.
hospital, at home. We had a VC. Yeah. So by the time I get to be a normal kid that can go outside and play, it's a new culture, gang culture.
Yeah.
And it's trending.
Facts.
I remember when we seen colors our first summer, we went and got bandanas and put them in our pocket. I went and got me a pocket knife. I don't know nothing about this but what I saw on television. I didn't know how to have sex from listening to rap music. And this is in the 5th and 6th grade. There was a song by Two Live Crew called Hey, We Want Some. Yeah, so imagine stopping it, rewinding it, stopping it, so you can get every lyric. So our culture taught us, and I say this often, and people really overlook it. It's a rape culture.
Rape culture.
Yeah, hip hop is a rape culture.
Tell me about it.
I put a Molly in her drink, and she ain't even know it. Me and my homies like to play this game. Some call it Amtrak, but some call it the train. We all would line up in a single file line and take our turns waxing girls' behinds. Every time it get to me, I was out of luck because I stick my end and it would get stuck. The girl will say stop, I say I'm not. The girl will say stop, I say I'm not. But we dance to it. There's another song. I take her back to the trap. I gave her a perk, and she ain't even know it. Then she dropped her panties. So when we watch the frat parties, what was that, Porky?
I understand what Charleston White is saying here, but I get a little pushback on this. You're taking two songs, Two Live Crew, but there's plenty of hip hop that I grew up on. They didn't even talk about things like this, man. So you can't say hip hop is rape culture. There might be songs out there, and when you're young, it's probably not good. Not probably, it's not good for young ears to hear, right? He's given two examples. Those are horrible examples for the youth to listen to, right? But there's plenty of other old school hip hop, man, that don't embrace this type of behavior, man. I mean, look at old school Public Enemy, even like LL back in the day. Look at Rakim, KRS One, Nas, Hove, Eminem. I mean, Eminem might be a little different. Eminem says some crazy stuff. I'm not remember everything that M say, but look K Dot, look at Kendrick, man. Um, look at there's plenty of examples, man, that do not express their art with that type of deviant behavior, man. So I have to give some pushback there, man. And I mean, shit, there's a lot of people out here, man, that a Tribe Called Quest, old school Tribe Called Quest, and for some of y'all probably don't know, Jungle Brothers, man. Old school, bossa boss. There's plenty of hip hop, man, that don't condone that type of behavior. But let's continue.
Revenge. Hey, let's spike the punch. The girls don't know to spike the punch. When we see a bunch of girls, hey, baby, let me get you a drink. Come over, let's have some drink. Drink to do what? And they have sex. That's coercion. You can't. You have to have a sober mind. So that's our culture.
How did it happen?
Hollywood entertainment. They
Because it didn't
they
used to be
romanticize
like
it.
that.
Now they romanticize it.
When you see the videos of back in the days, African American families, suits, the way they dressed, clean, solid, strong. What got into that? You're saying purely it's hip hop and movies?
A group of teenagers that became a phenomenon like the Beatles, NWA. Not only that, you got this group that know things about crack that the rest of America don't know. They the first crack babies. They the ones told us in songs, mother smoke crack and your friends can have sex with them. Boys in the hood is always hard. We didn't know about a strawberry. What is a strawberry? A woman who sell her body for crack. You know how many of our aunties that end up doing that? You know how many guys that was in middle school that sold dope and his best friend mom was on dope and he ended up effing his best friend mom? And now they hate each other to this day. So it wasn't just hip hop. It was the lyrical content that children was being able to have access to. This is before the parental advisory stickers. Not only that, you got this music, which if you wanna check the temperature of your youth's mentality, listen to the music. So now you got this new chemical that was made in a laboratory. Black people didn't know how to cook crack. That's a chemist method. Somebody had to teach them. By the way, government taught somebody how to do this. We watched the movie Snowfall. So when they came out of California to come spread crack throughout America, who they bring? The gangs. Throughout the South, these little small country towns who people are fascinated by California from what we've seen on television. And we emulated a culture that was more destructive than the Ku Klux Klan and the Jim Crow system.
Wow. And you're saying it was intentional?
Nobody thought it would become this. It was dismissed as a bunch of kids from the ghetto rapping. It was.
So, Charleston White is saying that we emulated a culture that was destructive to the black community. So, my question is this: how impactful was hip hop music on the black culture? Is there some credence to what he's saying? There's a lot of people who believe that there is. There's a lot of people out there that believe that negative hip hop has caused a lot of destruction in the black community, and you have a lot of young people who live vicariously through this type of behavior. Like they like you said, they romanticize it, man. They think that this type of behavior, I don't know, man. It makes them seem like they're some type of a hood superstar, man. It makes them feel good about themselves, like they are the man if they behave in this way. And my thing is this, man, you're going to have some people who can differentiate between entertainment and real life, but you're going to have some people that cannot. For whatever reason, man, they are influenced heavily by music, you know. I think I think Charleston White has definitely has a point. There's some of us that are gonna be like, no, it didn't influence me that way. Or there's gonna be some of us that are like, yeah, man, hip hop music, it gets me hype, but you don't take it too far. But there's gonna be some people out there that does take it too far. Unfortunately, man, they're gonna try to live out this life, and it does not end well. I like to say this, man. There was a woman that actually said this, man. We as a people, as a culture, we've allowed the worst of the community to become the face of the community, and there is a lot of people who feel that hip hop music, it wasn't all of it. It was a big part of it. I don't know. I don't know. I can kind of see a point there, but I love hip hop music, and my thing is this: as I've gotten older, you gravitate towards a certain type of music. I mean, the thing is, I always love lyrics. I always love, people that could spit fire, they could spit the lyrics, whatever, and tell a story. And tell a story so well you can actually envision it, like a Nasir Jones. And you're gonna have some people that could just take it for what it is, art. Like, okay, I love this, and that's it. I myself, I feel like that, I was that way. So it's music. I appreciate it. I appreciate that person's talent, delivering the rhymes and actually being able to pen, a masterpiece like a or even like an Eminem stand. That's a masterpiece. He penned a masterpiece, man. Um, there might be some people that might want to emulate this song for whatever reason. But I think people like that, man, they're probably suffering from mental illness. I can listen to Stan and be okay. I want to play this video, man, because he did bring up NWA. He brought NWA up, which to me is some of the goats, man. But once again, NWA's foundation was, violence in the hood. The NWA, back in the day, they would say that, well, we're kind of like the street reporters, right? We're letting the world know what's happening in our community. Well, some people will see it that way and say, yeah, he's right. They're right. Other people will be like, no, this right here is glorifying violence. So let's listen to what Cube has to say. This is a very interesting interview.
Same people who own the labels own the prisons.
Literally the same people?
Literally the same people who own the labels own private prisons. The records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
But they didn't make you write those lyrics.
It's not about making somebody write the lyrics. It's about being there as guardrails to make sure certain songs make it through and certain songs don't. Some records are made by committee, meaning record company guys sit around and tell the artists, this is hot, say that, do this. We're gonna have this guy write the lyrics. We're gonna have that. You have, the record company pushing the narrative. Some social engineering going on here to make sure those prisons stay full.
Social engineering to make sure those prisons stay full. The influence of hip hop music. I guess it's subjective, right? Subjective on your point of view and the journey that you've traveled with it. I don't know. I'm still a hip hop fan. I'm an Ice Cube fan, big Ice Cube fan, a fan of NWA, fan of that whole family tree. NWA, Dre, Eminem, Fifth, Cube. So, but once again, I can differentiate entertainment from real life. And of course, they were speaking about their real life events that happened to them. But, some people could go ahead and take those experiences and leave it at that. That's just someone else's experience. And now I know, and I can have some type of insight to that person's experience, man. I mean, that's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. But I can actually see Charleston White's point. So, hip hop music, man. What do you guys think? What do you think about hip hop music and its effect on the black community? Let me know.